Hey folks, I'm Belgast of the Aggrochat podcast. What is our podcast, you ask? Well, the idea is really simple. Get a bunch of friends together, hit record, and see what happens. If that sounds interesting to you, you should totally check us out. We're a proud member of the Gaming and Entertainment Network at tgenetwork.net.
This is Multiplaying episode 114, recorded on Friday, March 20th, 2015.
Everybody online, looking good.
A companion podcast to the collaborative blog and gaming community that's playing as life allows. This is Multiplaying.
Well, let's start the insanity.
We have clearance, Clarence. Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Hello?
Great heavens! What kind of radio show is this?
It's the first day of spring.
It is, yes. Welcome to the first day of spring on the Multiplaying podcast.
And my allergies are going bonkers.
Yes.
Yeah, mine too.
You don't sound as Vaderish as I was expecting.
I am muting in between talking.
Oh, so we don't have to hear the sniffles?
It's like mouth breathing constantly.
That might work for some of our audience.
You and Jason both get them?
Yeah.
Oh,
Spring
those are some
allergies that get really
genes.
bad.
Yeah, my kid is just a
Yeah,
mess.
he's fucked.
Poor guy.
For multiple reasons, but yeah. He's got allergies.
Oh, yeah, because of the allergies, too, yeah. I didn't even think of that. Oh, man.
On the show tonight, as you've probably already heard, we have host number one, Shannon.
What? Going first? Mixing it up?
I'm doing okay.
SOB.
Oh, wait. I'm used
You gave
to.
me shit last week.
Yeah, I know.
What you drinking tonight, Shannon?
I have a Shiraz.
Shiraz.
I like a Shiraz, so I got a Shiraz.
Is it a Shiraz or a Shiraz?
I think you say Shiraz.
I don't
Rad.
know.
Shiraz doesn't sound classy.
Shazam?
It's hard to say it and sound manly, that's enough.
Yeah.
Shiraz.
Yeah, Shiraz.
We also have hosts A, Jason.
Hello.
What you drinking tonight?
It's like
I'm
pulling teeth.
I'm drinking something different this week. I'm drinking a homebrew that my friend made.
Oh, really?
Yep, it's a pumpkin ale. He's gotten into the hobby of it, and he's getting really good at it.
Straight from the Bentley Brewery.
Yep,
Yeah.
our friend.
We go up north every year. He has what he calls the Bentley Bash, and you go up there, and he's got a cottage. You can stay in the cottage, or you can bring a tent. We've always brought a tent, and like multiple people bring tents, and it's just a weekend of drinking in the woods across from the lake. And then there's like they put this huge movie screen up, and there's just movies going all the time, and we play like stupid, like the little cornhole games and all that stuff too. But he brings up
What?
cornhole.
You never heard of cornhole, man?
You don't know what cornhole is? It sounds dirty. It's not dirty.
And it is.
It's just
Keep
it's
saying
just
it.
beanbag toss. Cornhole. It's just beanbag toss is what it is. That's all it is.
Okay.
It still sounds dirty when you say it like that.
I don't know if it's a Michigan thing, because they have bars around here that
No.
have cornhole leagues.
We have
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder if it's a Midwest thing.
It might be. Yeah.
Maybe. We take the little table with us to like whenever you're going to football games and you tailgate. Like people always have them set up and stuff, and it's just something to do while you're standing around drinking. But cornhole. I just like to hear him laugh. I think we know what the title is today. Anyway.
Oh, man.
He cannot wait to go back to work on Monday now.
I gotta tell you guys about cornhole.
Dumb fucks in Michigan.
The Michigan cornholers.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
What was I even talking about?
Bentley Bash and
Oh,
drinking.
yeah. Well, anyway, he brews, he takes requests, pretty much he's already started taking requests for, what we want up there. And he'll have multiple kegs that he brews just sitting up there for us, for the whole weekend and stuff. So it's awesome.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I actually was at my in-laws the other day and helped my father-in-law moved a couple things, and while we were upstairs, saw his beer making kit, and I asked him if he was going to start doing it again. And sure as shit, yeah, he hasn't done it in a while, but he's going to start brewing as well. He used to do that all the time. Stunk the whole house up.
Yeah, he's getting real serious.
He's got a special shed
For his
in the backyard
cornholing?
that he does. No, he doesn't cornhole. He brews beer.
All right, okay, sorry.
Yeah, let's not
Everybody
start any
cornholes.
ill rumors here.
When you make beer out of pumpkin, do you have to add like the nutmeg and the cinnamon? Like, is it
I
like a
believe he
pumpkin
did.
pie deal?
Yeah, he made it. I think. I don't want to say sweet, but yeah, I remember him talking about adding some of that stuff into it. I don't know. He was doing clones for a while, which are kind of like you go get the recipe
Right.
of a knockoff, and now he's starting to experiment on his own.
Be a pretty big waste if you made like knockoffs of Bud. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think he did any of those.
Really?
But yeah, he's tried a wide variety. He tried more like just a basic ale and some other things, but I think he likes doing the unique stuff more.
Cool.
But it's good.
All right. I am Steve, as you probably already know by this point. And I have a Di Serono yet again.
I had to look that
And
up when you mentioned
You had to
it.
look up Di Serono?
I've never had it.
Cornhole.
It's
Oh, the Di Serono.
No, I'm fully aware
not
of what
Google
cornhole is,
cornhole.
at least in Canada.
I put a picture of it on the show on the Twitch there for people. Anyway, go ahead.
But also with us tonight is Brian,
Hello.
longtime multiplayer, multiple podcast co-host, and back once again from the Great North. What you got drinking tonight there, Brian?
I'm drinking a Long Island iced tea.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Homemade. It's a lot
Oh,
of
I
alcohol.
love those. Yeah.
But I actually, it's not really a true Long Island iced tea. I didn't bother with the lime juice. I was like, screw it. I'm not squeezing limes.
So yours is less sweet and more liquor because those can really vary.
Yeah.
If you get
Well,
them
if you
out
use a
somewhere.
mix, that's not a real Long Island, and those are really sweet usually.
No, I actually bought all the alcohol and
Nice.
we went on
That's a Long Island.
we went on a Disney cruise a couple of I guess almost a month ago, and the guy when we went in, one of the bartenders was like, "What would you like?" I said, "Long Island iced tea," and he had this sly look on his face. He's like, "You want a really Long Island iced tea?" And he proceeded to put in a shot of each and like got us really drunk.
How you're supposed to make it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's five shots, so it's a strong drink.
I actually poured half of it though into another glass for later because I don't want to get totally shit-faced in a half hour.
Because you were trying to remember your family vacation.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember first time me and my wife ever went out to a bar. She had a Long Island, and it was quite a large Long Island. And about when she was down to about a quarter of it left, she just would. Anytime I would even glance at her, she would look over at me. "Why are you staring at me?"
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, she was pretty sloshed.
You guys
That's
are a cute
awesome.
couple.
Yeah. Because you're so beautiful and I love you.
And then we got married.
Yeah, she kept calling you, and you're like, I don't know. And you panicked, and you said, "Will you marry me?" That's why I'm looking at you.
Oh, Brian, I have your Twitter page up since we were introing you, and your Twitters or your tweets, are up on the screen,
My
and so they
twats?
want to know about. Yeah, they want to know about Gary Bettman being at your office.
Oh, right. Yeah. I worked.
Yeah, lots happened since you were last on.
Yeah, I've worked in a lot of places. Well, not a lot of
Yeah, 'cause
places.
Last time you were on, you were working at Fun. That was with Funcom.
Yeah,
or?
was I? I don't think I was on even when I was.
No, that was
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
he-
Was
I
that
think, hell yeah, it's been long enough. The last time you were on, you were still with that firm.
Yeah. So
And then
I got fired. Well, I didn't get fired. I got laid off, and so yeah, I ended up suing them. I can't mention how that went, but and then I just started to freelance, and it went really, really well. And so I was working for a bunch of clients, and then I have a pal who works at Funcom who asked if I wanted to help out, and I thought that was a great idea. So
I guess we should say, yeah, what it is you do for people that might just be listening to us for the first time or
right, I'm a
missed your shows.
yeah, I'm a graphic designer. So a UI, they call it a UI UX designer. So user experience and user interface design. So yeah, I went to go work for. I was still freelance officially, but I was working at Funcom off and on for, I guess, not quite a year, almost a year, and worked on some stuff with them for Lego that will never see the light of day. As well as some other mobile stuff that they're still working on. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I also did work on Creative Assembly's Rome Total War 2, which I think I mentioned while I was doing the podcast. But
I think so.
yeah, but I also helped on Attila that just got released. So I did the in-game encyclopedia for that. So yeah, and then now, most recently, since I guess the middle of last year, I started working at, basically it's the Canadian equivalent of ESPN, called Sportsnet, and I work on the NHL stuff for them. So I was doing that along with all the other gigs from last year till the end of last year, so like May to December. And then they asked me to come on full time, and I decided to do it because I really like hockey. So yeah, that's where I've been working for the last little while. And then, so the Gary Bettman thing was during a town hall, and the guy who was leading the town hall said, I have a special guest that'll be joining us at the end of the town hall, and afterwards he brought in Gary Bettman, which was kind of cool.
He uncrated him.
Yeah, exactly. He's a funny guy, actually.
Yeah,
because the guy that was talking to us is a media savvy, upper echelon kind of guy, and is no stranger to speaking in front of crowds, and it was funny that Gary kind of led him. It was great. It was kind of neat to see, because you always get this feeling that when you see him on TV that he's this little guy who's just kind of ducking and trying not to get people to boo him too badly, but I think he doesn't give a shit. I think he's been like really successful for the NHL, and he was talking about some great skating rink that he has up at his cottage, and yeah, he seemed like a really smart and nice guy, so it was neat.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're in a nicer place.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's much better. I mean,
the Leafs still suck. But
yeah,
that's cool.
This is
There are
like
no Winnipeg Jets.
no, that's not true. We're actually we're like
no, it is true.
It is
they
true.
aren't.
Yeah, you're right. They're not.
They're
like
different teams.
Bottom four. We're like
They're literally not.
in the basement with Buffalo and Edmonton and Columbus, I believe. So not good.
Wow, down there with the C-Bus, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Funny, I know a lot of people. Is that what they call it? The C-Bus? I didn't know that's what it was called.
No, that's just
what I call
basement
Columbus.
I call
Oh,
it.
really? I like it. I've got like about 10 friends who I used to play Quake with that live there. So
Down in the C-Bus?
down in the C-Bus. Actually, that's the first time I went to the United States. Was I traveled down there for a little mini Quake convention. So
Oh, neat.
yeah.
Not that it was C-Bus, but
But Quake was good, right?
yeah, it's cool
Quake.
they get to go play Quake.
Quake was awesome. Quake 3.
Yeah?
Yep.
Did you rocket everyone to death?
We played Instajib mostly.
Oh, yeah, with railguns?
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Those are good times. That's really what pulled me into gaming. I had stopped gaming until I bought Quake 3 I just got a computer, and there weren't a lot of games that ran on the Mac, and Quake 3 happened to be one of them, so I bought it, and I played that for like 3 years. That was great.
Well, yeah, it was one of my earlier PC gaming experiences. I didn't get into PC gaming until about the same time Half-Life came out. And yeah, I remember after I think I built my first PC, like getting into Quake 3 quite a bit and playing online a lot. Taking the PC over for LAN parties and stuff, and
Oh God.
it was good times.
Yeah. My first one that kind of pulled me back in after taking a break and got me into online gaming was Unreal Tournament.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good stuff too.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was right
Low
around the
gravity.
same time.
Yeah, they were right there around the same time. My sister and my brother and I kind of would all bring our computers and have a LAN party.
Those were always a lot of fun, like, because it just seemed amazing to me that you could play with people in the room against other people. That was,
Yeah, that was like the first experience I had with that.
Yeah.
That was kind of mind-blowing. And because before that, I had done some kind of where you dialed up and talked and played with one other person.
Yeah.
I think like the earlier stuff, like some of the X-Wing and maybe Blood or a couple other games like that. But yeah.
I know one of the first games that actually I remember playing that would play very well over 56K was Dark Forces 1 or 2.
Yeah.
The multiplayer on that, for some reason, their netcode on it was really good, so it would play damn near flawlessly. Like, pings were super good, even on, like I said, on a 56K, and the matches would feel like you were playing in a LAN. So I played that constantly, and then on like off nights when there wasn't people on that I would normally play with, me and my buddy would get on and play like one-on-one. Had some good moments there.
One of those, it wasn't the first Dark Forces, but it was one of those early multiplayer ones, was the first experience I really had to mods, where people were like adding Yoda into the game and weird stuff like that.
Yeah. Might have been either, was it Dark Forces 2 or Jedi Knight?
I think it was Jedi Knight.
Probably Jedi Knight. I think that's
Yeah.
the one I'm thinking of that had the good netcode, was Jedi Knight. Yeah, shit. I had good memories back then. But let's get into what we've been playing and what's going on. I think we should probably start off with some news for Multiplaying. I'm going to let Shannon cover this one, though.
So, all of you know, we have restarted the Multiplaying podcast, and it's all active and stuff. And as a part of going active again, we kind of wanted to go back to our roots. We've talked about this before in the podcast, where we support gaming, geekery, general kind of just, nerdy, awesome stuff that we enjoy. Blogs, podcast shows, Twitch streams, YouTube channels, anything anybody just people are doing to kind of enjoy their hobby and share it with the world. And we're highlighting these people, in our own special, least amount of effort as possible way by highlighting them on Twitter and on our website and forums and such. But occasionally, we kind of have difficulty finding, something to highlight, what do we choose and stuff, and who do we know. But we were very kindly surprised this week when we were approached and asked to join the Gaming and Entertainment Network, which is known as TGen. And TGen is a network of gaming and geekery type of podcasting greatness, and it includes shows like Aggrochat and Battle Bards and Beyond Boss Fights and Cat Context, Contains Moderate Peril, Couch Potatoes, Massive Failure, Roleplay Domain, and they also have a quarterly tribunal where they try to get someone from every show together and discuss a topic. They've only done one of those so far, I think. But kind of cool.
Yeah.
They're very committed as well to supporting those in podcasting and gaming entertainment community. They all have very honest and fun shows, so it was very easy for us to say, yeah, we want to be a part of that. And so we look forward to, joining up with them regularly. They already have us on the website, and everything's all set up.
Yeah.
We've got a page on their website, and they even have it so that you can quickly just subscribe to all of their shows. If you just go to tgennetwork.net. It's TGENETWORK. Yeah. TGENetwork.net. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you got it.
But if you scroll to the bottom, you can pick all the shows by simply subscribing to their iTunes or Stitcher or with their RSS feed, and all the feeds are combined in the one feeds there. Or you can just pick and choose, a la carte style.
Yeah, and the nice thing is, we already kind of stated this on the forums for the post that you made up today, Shannon, that it's not really going to change anything with our show. We'll do some cross-promotional stuff, kind of along the lines of what we were already trying to get going with having people add bumpers for their stuff, like you may have heard last week with Todd's bumper at the beginning of the show. We'll do the same thing, but to promote the shows on the TGen network. But yeah, I think it's a good fit, and I hope that anybody that might be listening to us for the first time via that network enjoys and checks out other ones on the network.
I want to know what Cat Context is all about.
I assume it's about the Jaguar Automotive Company.
It is general like gaming, like mostly MMOs though. But it seems like sometimes they talk about like apps and stuff. I've listened to them for a while.
Seems that I was wrong.
Yeah, it's
You were close.
it's Leore's and Arrow, and I'm not sure of the dude's name on Twitter, but we all follow. Like if I said it, you guys probably all follow all three of them. Like we all kind of chat regularly, and it's funny. Like getting like into this network was kind of fun. Like I went to go follow everybody, and it's like, oh, I already know all these people.
Why
So
hasn't this
yeah,
happened already?
so that was kind of cool to know. Like oh, I already like all these people, so that's really nice. But yeah, it's a
Do
really
they
good
review
show.
MMOs like based on the context of it, like being watched as like by a cat or something? I'm just trying to
No,
figure-
I've never gone back and listened to old shows, so I'm not sure the origins of it. I just accept it and move on.
All right.
That's their name. Maybe it's something like Cotcast,
I'm
where
gonna
it
have-
has like
it's an acronym.
maybe, I don't know.
Deeper meeting.
I don't know. Maybe it's like herding cats, like that whole thing of guild leading, and I don't know.
I think
I
my
don't know.
idea is
I'm
good.
totally guessing at this point.
What would a cat
There's so much
think of
mystery
WoW?
involved with the name now that I
You
think
should
everybody
just
should be
Listen
listening
to it for for clues and cues and figure it all out. But yeah, Battle Bards is done by the music one I was telling you to listen to, Slurms.
Yeah.
By Sip and Mogsy and Gypsy Cell, and then Aggrochat's done by Belgast and Ash and Kodra. And Raid's not on Twitter, but that's an issue that I can't handle. Someone took the name she always uses, and it's somewhat like someone not only took her name on Twitter, but they never used it, not once. So yeah, it's very frustrating. And Beyond Boss Fights is done by Brax, and oh god, I don't want to go through all of them, but MMO Troll does Massive Failure and the Roleplay Domain. I'm gonna go through all of them, aren't I?
You are. It sounds like it.
I am.
Wait for it.
No, let's go. Let's
Okay.
move on. We will highlight them all eventually, I'm sure, individually. So
So look out and check it out.
Yeah.
But we'll get on to other stuff that we've all been playing. Should we start with our guests?
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the polite thing to do.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
The hell you been playing, Brian?
I've been playing a shit ton of
That's fantastic.
Guild
All right,
Wars
Steve.
2.
Guild
you
Wars 2?
prick! Yeah.
I set you up.
Yeah, Guild Wars 2. I was playing the WoW expansion for a while there, and then it started to feel a bit like a job with the memory stuff.
The Garrison?
The Garrison stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I was feeling that need to I gotta log in and do my, daily chore, and then I went, wait, what the fuck? No one's paying me to do this. And
on the contrary.
yeah. And so, and actually that's what made me go, I didn't have to pay a thing for Guild Wars 2. And so I decided to go back and try it out, and I'm hooked again. So I've been playing that for the last 2 or 3 months and having a great time, mostly solo, just getting world completion and gathering materials for I don't even know what. And
Yeah.
checking out... Sorry, go ahead.
What's your world completion at?
I'm at 100% on my Thief.
Are you?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Holy
Wow,
shit.
you even did it before they took out the WVW.
Oh, no, I didn't. I had 2...
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I was
so we
waiting
should
for.
kind of cover that. Like in Guild Wars 2, they recently. I don't think we talked about that last time. So
No, we didn't.
just for people who don't know, they recently took out the WVW map requirements for 100% map completion in the game. So
Yay.
now audience knows what we're talking about. Move on.
Yeah, and that was a great call too. I was one of the weirdest things for me is it seemed like an odd game decision to have an achievement like that, 95% PVE, and then at the last 5% just switch it up.
Shannon and me were actually talking online the other night about it, and kind of something like, I think Shannon was probably the one that said it, just seeing it as kind of a weird thing that you have this area in the game where people are going to combat, and yet a very PvE centric reward is forcing people to go in there and try to get that, and it's kind of messing with people's time that are, especially when there's usually a lock on how many people can actually be out there at a time, and maybe you'll have 10 or 15 people out there just trying to get their world completion and not being involved in the fight.
Yeah. It was
So
odd
it was
decision.
very weird.
And a lot of
I
people
remember
are
that. There
upset.
would be people.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Nope, you go ahead.
Oh, I just remember that. I mean, I haven't noticed it lately, but I'm not playing a lot of WW right now. But like, I remember at launch when I was out there a lot more. There was a cap to get in, and people were so frustrated with. You'd have all these people out there just like exploring to get their map done. It's like, no, we have a cap, and we're fighting against Blackgate, and the numbers are close, and we need all the PvPers out here we can get to coordinate this stuff. And you guys are running around like goofballs, and you're giving them points, and it was really frustrating. And it totally went against. It didn't make the PvPers or the PvEers like each other very much at all. So.
Right. And like for me, world completion was always something I kind of wanted to get eventually. I've never really pushed myself to. I just figured as I played the game, I'd get close. And I like my ranger, I think, is at like 78 or 79%. And he's the highest one that I have. But again, I've never tried to go through and complete stuff. I went through all the Norn areas because I really wanted to live through that area. But when I'm out in WVW, it is not the thing I'm concentrating on.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious to see what my completion is going to go up to once I log in and see that, as I have not been playing this week.
Yeah, you're probably really close. I'd say you're probably at like 85 at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that might actually be a boost to me to go, okay, well now I kind of want to do the rest of the completion. So.
Yeah. Well, I think it was just their way of trying to entice people to kind of, try out WVW, but I don't think that's not a wise way to do it. Forcing somebody to do something is never a great way to actually get them to like it. So,
does it kind of annoy you though that you were that close to getting 100% with WW?
No, I was totally happy. For me, it was like great because I don't want to go. I'm not a huge WVW player, and when I do, I'm certainly not gonna concentrate on getting points. I'm gonna try and battle other players. I'm gonna try and help and play it properly. So I didn't really see myself trying to get through that kind of thing without some help. So yeah, I was happy.
So since your return, how long had it been since you'd played?
Probably a year, maybe a year and a half. Yeah.
So there's been a lot of UI changes since you played.
Yeah, there have been, and they're all really
good.
good.
All that?
The game works really well. I'm really happy with the market. What's it called again? The Black Lion Trade.
The gem store?
Not
the trading post.
The trading post. That's what it's called. Yeah. The trading post used to be horribly glitchy for me, and fonts would display weirdly, and so I think that's much better. It's a much better experience. And
totally.
And of course, then they just added the camera stuff, which is also pretty awesome.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah. Are you gonna play like first person at all, or?
No, I'm purely excited for first person from the standpoint of screenshots.
Right.
But the fact that that's not the only thing that they added as far as camera control or camera options, the fact that you can now put the camera to the left or the right of your character, you can have it actually hover
to the left. I'm sorry.
You can have it go like above your character more or below it if you wanted to get some crazy neat screenshots featuring your character more in a dynamic setting. But yeah, instantly, like I had it so that my field of view, I opened up just a tad bit more, and I put the camera a little bit higher so that I could actually see more of the environment as I'm running around. And that's just been amazing. Like I ran through when we were doing the Queensdale map completion thing the other night, like just seeing it with more in my view now was amazing. Like it was almost like I was playing it for the first time again.
Yeah. Yeah, I
because you
played
get to
with
see
a little
that
bit.
horizon.
I think I did pretty much the same thing you did. I just raised it up a little bit and increased the FOV a bit, and yeah, it did seem much more cinematic.
Yeah.
I played like for hours last night. I got my tailoring up to 400. I got 11 levels, and I totally forgot to play with the camera. I haven't even bothered with it yet. Yeah.
That's a pretty big accomplishment to get to 400.
I was only at like 70 or so when I started.
Shit.
Yeah, I used a guide. I didn't.
Yeah, still
that's time consuming and money consuming. But yeah, anything else you want to add from your Guild War II's experiences?
Nope. I wish, actually, one thing, I wish they would do a better job of explaining what happens, or they've got so many reward sets and so many ways to to gain experience or like, well, not faction, but or is it faction? I don't even remember what it's
Currencies?
called. Currencies, that's it. That like when I enter a new area, I feel completely lost, and I have to do research outside of the game. And
Yeah, I can imagine if you weren't there through all the living story stuff to see all the different editions of the items that you want to keep a hold of, like geodes or foxfire clusters or stuff like that.
Yep.
I have no idea
Like-
what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Or bandit crests.
Yeah, exactly. Those things I'm collecting now, and I had to go look
Or
them up.
dust, or the what was it? The dust pile of dust that you can like siphon through and then try to get more bandit crests or keys to unlock chests
Yeah.
in the silverways.
Currencies for currencies.
Currencies for currencies, exactly.
Yep. Yeah, so I
and-
wish they would do a better job of that. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, if you are listening to this and you would like to get in on checking out what this Guild Wars 2 stuff is about, because you just kind of haven't gotten around to it yet, next week live on the show, we're going to be giving away a key code for
Ooh.
for Guild Wars 2. So all you have to do is be in our Twitch channel while we're recording. We'll give it away, and you have to be subscribed to our Twitch channel. That'll be like the thing, and then we will send you that code, and you can unsubscribe and never hear from us again.
Prizes, eh? You
Yeah,
guys are big time now. Are you
we've
sure
got
you want me
prizes
here?
for later on this show too for people listening.
Oh.
Yeah, but that was
Autographed picture.
graciously donated to us to give out. So yeah, we're gonna do that.
We should auction off some Slurm's mustache trimmings.
Oh, there you go.
Ew.
Nobody wants that. Well, some people might want it. I don't know.
One of my Quake friends, he auctioned off a pair of his underwear on eBay, and
How'd that go for him?
somebody bought them.
For how much?
It wasn't a lot, but he was surprised he got any.
That anybody
bids.
bought them. Yeah.
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 He also
I
got
was
in
happy
trouble.
with that purchase.
He also got in trouble because he tried to sell his vote on eBay.
Boat?
Vote.
His vote in the election.
Vote.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's kind of illegal.
Yeah, he wasn't thinking too well, and then he got an email, an inquiry from one of the newspapers saying, "Hey, notice that you had your vote for sale. I assume you already know that's illegal. Just wondering if you'd like to do a story with me." he quickly took the eBay down.
Wow.
Yep.
Where's this guy at now?
He's in Burlington.
He just got done being mayor of Toronto.
Wow.
That guy's
I would
awesome.
love it if Brian's friend was Rob Ford.
I'm surprised it's not.
I surprisingly have no connection to Rob Ford whatsoever. Not even like third, fourth, or fifth contact.
I
So
like how he said surprisingly.
I just feel like I
He's had some weird stories.
get around.
It's true.
Yep.
We should make a Brian playlist of all the shows.
Nothing. I don't think anything beats Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, Brad. Poor
John
Brad.
Larroquette.
The John Larroquette story.
You
is
guys
too.
remember them? That's great.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
very
we do.
memorable.
We don't have these stories. We're living vicariously through you, man.
I don't have anything new. I think I've used all my stories. I'm like Kramer in Seinfeld. I've like Jay Peterman has all of my
You're gonna
stories.
sell them.
Yeah. I got nothing left. I'll ask Bob Sacamano if I can have his stories.
We did have a question before we get off of the subject of Guild Wars 2. This one came in from Winnan. He said, "Hey, I have a question for all you Guild Wars 2 experts. My brother is playing a ranger. My dad has decided on Mesmer. So now I'm trying to pick a class to play up that will work well with the group. Which of these three classes would work best, or be just fine, or wouldn't work, between a Mesmer, an Elementalist, and a Warrior? I lean towards the Mesmer and Elementalist, but the Warrior seems like it might work better in that trio. I'm guessing that whatever I play, I'll be going melee, because the others prefer relaxing it back at range. Thanks, Winnan."
I would say the warrior would work best in that situation, but the elementalist
Yes.
wouldn't be the worst choice.
Elementalist, you are limited in your melee.
Yeah, I know.
Unless you
Like the
go
ranger's gonna have to be
dual
willing.
daggers.
The ranger's gonna have to be willing to be diverse. You know, if he picks mesmer or elementalist. And if the ranger is someone who's not willing to be diverse and just wants to be ranged, ranger, I think you'd have to go warrior.
I mean, if you're trying to fit like
I guess the mesmer, there's some
Holy
melee.
Trinity in there. I don't know much about the mesmer.
Sword for mesmer is a melee weapon essentially.
Yeah.
Warrior is definitely the best pick. If I'm saying what is the best, yeah, warrior. I'm agreeing with Shannon. That's the best pick. But you could get by with a mesmer too. Just always remembering that Guild Wars 2 is more about damage output than anything. It's not so much about like your ability to heal, damage output, and your ability to maneuver in combat, I guess. So,
yeah.
But
I think
out of
you should
those,
go
warrior's
Guardian.
going to stand up the best.
I know it's not one of his choices, but I think he should go Guardian. I
Yeah,
think that
Guardian would be
the best.
a really good choice and give him some, more options, I think.
CC and
Yeah, it'd be a better support for those two classes and still provide a melee sort of front line to keep the mobs
But it's not
focused on.
It's not one of the options. You're not supposed to talk about it.
I don't...
But the great sword guardian.
I know.
Man, he
I
can
love
pull the
Great
mops
Sword. That's
to
what I
him.
played. I love Great Sword Guardian.
Yep. And it's so
But yeah,
relaxing
if
to
it's-
play. You just kind of... I mean, yeah, I guess you could get bored because there's a lot of watching as they swing through their number one, but yeah, still lots of fun.
Moving on to what do we want to talk about? ESO or Crowfall?
Do the ESO, and I got a feeling it's going to go quick.
All right, ESO. No sub required anymore. That's it.
Yep.
Okay. I haven't
As Brian-
jumped back on and played yet.
Me either. As Brian was saying, like kind of how he got pulled back into Guild Wars 2, he was kind of thinking, well, with World of Warcraft, he was like, wait a minute, I didn't have to pay for blah, 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 until, he went back to Guild Wars 2, because it's a good game that he didn't have to pay for. Now, Elder Scrolls is another option if you had already bought it, so...
I'm curious as to what's changed since I played, but I don't know that it's going to be something I stick with at all.
I went back about a month and a half, 2 months ago.
Yeah, what's changed?
I don't know. I got a bunch of notifications when I logged in to reset my stuff.
We know what
you
you
are
did.
awesome.
Yeah, pretty much. And I played for a couple days and I enjoyed it, but the Guild Wars 2 bug had got me at that point, and I didn't look back and I deleted it because that thing is a monster on the hard drive.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
I
Well-
hated that MMO. It's like the biggest, well, not even a disappointment because I wasn't expecting much from it when I bought it. But still, like, I feel like I wasted money. I barely played 2 weeks on it. I didn't even finish out my 30 days because I just thought it was uninteresting.
I liked parts of it, but man, it was buggy as shit for the launch.
Yeah,
There's
it
so
probably
many just
isn't
bugged
now.
out quests. Yeah, and that's what I guess I'm getting at. Between the bugged out quests and the horrible inventory management, I just really got bothered by that game. But I'm sure that those were things that would have got fixed, and that's why I'm curious to check it out again.
I really liked exploring the world and all that stuff. It was an
Yeah,
interesting
that-
MMO, but the problem I had with it was I did everything by myself. It was a great solo game for me,
yeah.
but I don't like solo games, so I got bored with it quicker than probably other people would. It's a good, solid game, I think, but I didn't make it to the part where I would start doing all of the battles and stuff at the end game, which is what I kind of was more interested in, and I just
I
never
really
got that
enjoyed the
far.
quests and the phasing in that game.
Yeah.
I wanted to see more of it, and I will at some point.
Cool. Well, let's move off of ESO and get into Crowfall. Shannon is excited.
Shannon gets excited over stupid stuff, though.
Well, this is one of those situations.
Let's see. They were at 1.27 when we started recording, so they're doing pretty good. Their stretch goals, they've unlocked the 1 million mark, so we've got the character, which is female centaurs, hallelujah, and enhanced particle effects. Then they also made it to their 12,000 backed goal, so everybody gets a statue if you're a backer, to put in your little personal kingdom. And then at 13,000 backers, everyone who is a backer gets a free month of VIP. So Yay for VIP membership for a month for all pledge levels.
Yo, VIP.
Yeah. And then
Let's kick it.
at $1.3 million if they hit that, which I think they will because they got like 5 days left and they're really close. Mounts and caravans will be added apparently. You get bonus mounts though for all tiers over $60, which I didn't give them that much. So but a backer gets a certain mount and a bronze and a silver level. They have different mount skins that you can apply to your mounts, because your mounts in this game do die and can be captured and taken. So getting a mount's not like a forever thing. It's not like, this isn't like a pay to win type of backing toy here.
Right.
The one I was excited about was if they hit, and they could, if they hit 14.5 thousand backers, they're gonna give like a beast of burden to everybody, and it's a pack pig. It's a little pack animal for all pledge levels, and I just think that'd be adorable to have a little pack pig walking around. They have a couple other.
It's like saying pack pig.
Pack pig. Pack pig.
Pack pig.
It always reminds me of
Pat pig.
Pat pig. Yes, it reminds me of Better
Pat
Off
pig.
Dead. Better Off Dead, when he's like working at that restaurant and he's like patting the patties, and I don't know, never mind. There's a line where he calls his boss a fat pig, and the guy goes, "What?" And he goes, "Pat pig." That's all. Just every time I see that. Anyway, the 1.4 million is a God's Reach, an artifacts and relics thing, and then there's a VR headset support at 15,000 backers, and it's just like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of stuff there. That's the point where I start to get nervous about them being able to live up to their promises they're making.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like maybe focus on the core game.
Yeah, like and to be honest, I don't know where they're at in this, and stuff. But I am definitely no developer, so maybe it's not as unbelievable as I'm thinking it would be right now. But it seems really unbelievable right now. But yeah, they announced like their Eternal Kingdoms thing today, where everybody, I guess, has a kingdom, and the way they're describing it, I would liken it to like WildStar housing, where everyone just has one though when you get launched. You don't have to like wait till level 10. But in this one, you build it like almost like Tetris blocks. You buy these little areas, like, because when you first get your terrain, it's all wild and unusable, and you can't build on it, and you have to do like all this unlocking with these what are they calling them? I don't know. Like, basically you have to get like these little permits and unlock them. So
okay.
they're
Deeds.
Yeah, kind of. I'm sure I'm using the wrong vocabulary, but you're getting the idea. And that's what unlocks like these different shaped segments that are almost like Tetris-like that fit into your cells, and you can make your cells bigger. And if you end up building like this really awesome like little kingdom, you can actually section off parts of your kingdom and like say I built this really kick butt, unlocked all this land. And you say Slurms didn't want to, like, for whatever reason, maintain your own. You could just build on mine.
Hell no.
And I could section it off, and you would own that area. And Jason, you know what I mean? Like, guilds can come together to make these huge kingdoms to end.
That's pretty
rad. Yeah. So that's kind of cool. I like what they're doing with it. Seems a little bit more usable than the WildStar housing.
Is the personal
dealt
kingdom
with, but-
area like cordoned off from everything else in the game?
I'm assuming it's instance. You know what I mean?
Because that would be increased. I'm just thinking Arc Age flashback, and I just can't imagine how they would do that if everybody's getting their own quote-unquote kingdom. Here's your 10 by 10 kingdom, and here's your 10 by 10 kingdom.
No, and they
Kingdom.
and they can actually grow. Like, you can make them larger and stuff.
Right,
So
yeah.
I'm assuming that they are like an instance type of situation. So
We will see.
These stretch goals are cool and all, but in every game that I see after it gets funded and they're adding all these things like in this particle effects and whatever, just kind of like every time I see them, I think, wow, if they just got the money they asked for, this game would have fucking sucked.
that's true.
Right.
But I don't know. I have high hopes. I backed it, so hope it's good.
I like the art style.
I was just
love
about to say,
the
it's damn pretty.
Yeah.
I have $30 worth of hope for it. That's what I feel comfortable going into it with.
Put a
Yeah,
number
more
on
than
it.
that if the game comes out and looks okay.
Yeah, from everything they're saying, it sounds fantastic. I'm hedging my expectations because sometimes promises aren't always, then result.
Developers lie.
And I don't have any experience with these developers, so I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Anyway,
Cool.
let's move on.
No, it's fine. We can move on. I guess there's really no more MMO news. But I do have to say, yesterday was my birthday.
Yay, your special day.
My special day. And my wife treated me to a new Nintendo 3DS.
She gets you some good presents.
She does.
Like, she knows you and gets, like you got your PS4 as a present. And
Yeah.
Good on her.
Mustache comb.
I got that myself.
That's for her pleasure.
But yeah, I have been. I've picked up one game for it, and it was A Link Between Worlds, which is a fantastic Zelda game.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Holy shit, I love it.
Do you like the 3D?
What I do, honestly, I did not like the 3D previously on the 3DS.
Yeah, I always wanted to like it, but yeah.
Yeah, and it was just always so, I don't know.
Finicky.
Yeah, finicky. That's a good word for it. It was too finicky for my liking. But with the whole motion tracking thing that they added in with the new 3DS, it actually makes it bearable to use.
It's amazing.
It does, and even in a game that I wouldn't assume would utilize it a whole lot with A Link Between Worlds, and it doesn't use it for gameplay at all, but just the effect of having that depth looking down into the game in that 2D, it's what would have otherwise been akin to a 2D world. It looks so good. Like when messages pop up, they really pop up in the foreground. And the one dungeon that I went through that was essentially a tower with multiple floors that you could actually see down into the tower.
Yeah, it's like looking into a diorama or something.
Yeah, and it's just fantastic. It just moves so smooth and everything. I'm loving the game, and I'm loving the hardware itself. Is just so much. I don't know. It just feels like a much more solid, nice piece of hardware than the last 3DS.
Yeah. I really
Button
like
placement. One thing that I am so fucking happy about is the change of where the volume control is.
Yeah.
God damn it. All the time whenever I play the 3DS before, I'd accidentally adjust it with the palm of my hand.
Yeah, no, I play mine all the time. I'm really happy I upgraded.
Yeah. I'm happy that I got it as a gift, so.
I watched a guy today on the train beside me playing Monster Hunter on his 3DS, and it's funny because it was like watching Twitch, except I couldn't hear what he was thinking.
Did you ask him, can you randomly swear and tell me what you're doing?
Exactly.
Can you play some background music? A nice bed of music?
Can we put a green screen behind you real quick?
And can I give you $1 and can you ring a bell?
Exactly.
Moving on. What do you want to talk about? We don't really have any board games on the docket to talk about.
No, I didn't play anything.
But we have some TV.
Yeah. Flash was good. Narrow was good. Are you
Yeah.
guys caught up?
No,
I'm not
absolutely
caught
not.
up.
I like Flash
I
a lot more
like the
this season.
Flash. Yeah.
I
They're doing
didn't
some
like
really
Flash.
interesting stuff.
Go ahead. Sorry.
They're doing some just what they're doing now is they're tackling some seeds that they put in the beginning of the show that I kind of am surprised they're at least getting to this early.
Yeah,
Figured
I
it'd
was
be-
surprised they've revealed some things to the main characters already. I thought it was going to be one of those things, okay, this is going to drag out for 3 seasons, it's going to just be this ridiculous amount of time where these people just don't see what's happening. But no, they're already wham, this is the reality. And it's wow, that's really cool.
And some of the things they've teased that they haven't shown yet are amazing. There's one character in particular, one villain that they really have gone to a couple times. They even showed once, and I'm like, holy shit, are they really gonna make this villain work in a
You can say who it was.
Gorilla Grodd?
Yeah, because, yeah.
They showed Gorilla Grodd,
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
and it didn't look terrible.
Huh.
It's pretty
pretty
exciting
brave.
stuff. Yeah.
Now I kind of want to watch Flash.
I told you.
I didn't
I've been
like the
telling you.
first 2 or 3 episodes. I thought it was kind of cheesy, and I didn't like
It's
the
very
side
campy.
characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate
Then I-
Cisco, right? Like, I just hate
Yes,
him so
exactly.
much.
That's
He
it.
gets better.
He
Yeah.
does. He
He
does
does.
get likable.
Yeah. Now I kind of want to watch it.
Yeah, Arrow's okay this season. Just not as good as last season.
I did like this last episode specifically a lot more than the last
That's it,
few.
they're finally-
Yeah, they're doing
They were just like treading water for a while.
Yeah, it seemed like it was losing its pace.
Yeah.
I think that's why I kind of stopped watching it. Just
Yeah.
wasn't going anywhere.
But it's getting like they might be getting to something. There's only like it's weird. We're like a month away from seasons being over.
And yeah,
So-
this season still feels like they haven't gotten started, but we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But in other series news, do you want to talk about your House of Cards?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys
Gripe.
watch House of Cards or not for season 3, but all I've heard about, like, from the interwebs is just how disappointing season 3 is, and we just finished it, and I thought it was great. And I just think people on the internet just like to hate things that are popular. I mean, no, he wasn't banging, dirtbag reporters and throwing them in front of trains this season, but it was still really good. Anyway, that's a little spoiler for if you haven't seen the first season, I guess. But that's first season. We're on third season. Catch up. We got to talk about something, people.
Which one is House of Cards? I can't remember.
It's the one with Kevin Spacey, and he's
Right, okay.
yeah, it's a political drama.
There are a
It's on
couple of
Netflix.
cards, and they need to be dealt with.
Yeah.
I got through part of the first season, and for me, I just I don't know. I kind of lost
They're
it.
slow burns.
Yeah. For me, it was he reminded me too much of Foghorn Leghorn.
What, the way he talks?
Yeah,
Like he
the
looks
way
at the
he
camera and
talks.
said, I say.
Exactly. Yeah. I keep my
I think it'd
feathers
be a
numbered
great-
for just such an emergency.
Yeah. I think whenever he looks and talks to the camera, that'd be like a great, if he hosts Saturday Night Live again, do a bit with him where he's talking to the camera, ripping at everybody, and they're all like looking around like, we can totally hear you.
Yeah. They totally need to do that.
Do you think he's upset with his place in life that he never became an astronaut?
What was that movie?
Kevin Spacey?
Yeah.
Because he's got a great name
It's
for an
just
astronaut.
the name. It's a planned name.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's like Sybil Shepherd being queen of like dog positions. It's not really.
What?
It was on Mr. Skin.
Or she herds animals?
No.
'Cause she's a shepherd?
Do you guys not know Mr. Skin?
Yeah,
Nope.
I've heard of Mr. Skin.
Okay, yeah. It's basically like I've never been to it, but I've heard him being interviewed on like local radio shows, so it's a thing apparently. But this guy has a website where he clips out all the nude scenes from all of the
That's right.
from every movie, and it's not like porno. It's like just any nudes at all. Well, they had like a list of like number one actresses you'd like to have in the doggy position, and like Sybil Shepherd was the number one because her name's Shepherd. You know what I mean? Like they all had to do with like dog names, and so, but like they were actually, yeah.
Oh man.
And they were actually interviewing someone.
I'm changing my name to Jason Blowjob.
But anyway, it just reminded me
I
of
want,
like.
I want a blowjob. I don't want to give it. I want to make that clear.
I was gonna say you might want to rethink your logic there, sir.
Jason gets blowjobs. That's my name.
And doesn't give them.
.com.
And Steve doesn't like beer.com.
Esquire.
The third.
But anyway, it just reminded me of that joke where like that was a long way to go. But that's what it totally reminded me, like, because his name is Spacey, he'd be an astronaut.
Mm-hmm.
Simple.
I can just see him as a kid. One day I'm going to
We
be an
have
astronaut.
spent infinitely more time than we should have on this dumb Kevin Spacey joke. Joke in quotes.
It was dumb.
Yes, it was dumb.
Oh, but maybe something that's not as dumb.
You struck out swinging.
Community is back.
Yay.
Internet says that's bad.
What?
Internet says it's bad. Internet says it's bad, and internet.
It's not as good like it was.
Yep, and internet
that's-
says the new Arrested Development's bad.
Fuck the internet.
Yeah.
I haven't
Internet
seen
says
the new episode.
internet's so mean, right? Like
They're finicky.
like the internet is like an old man ordering
true.
food in
no
a
shit.
restaurant. Like,
Sending back
shut
soup.
up. Yes.
Like an old man sending back soup.
It's like Andy
He was
Rooney.
angry that days, my friend.
Andy Rooney is the embodiment of the internet. From 60
Yeah.
Minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Nailed it.
Yep.
Just enjoy your damn soup, sir.
Name of the episode is now Andy Rooney Cornholes.
Gonna get arrested.
Somebody's got to Google search that, and it's going to pop up with our.
Somebody's gonna Google that.
That's when the hits start rolling.
Oh
in.
yeah, that's what we've been waiting for.
Why do they call it a cornhole? Is that really the best
I don't
name for it?
understand.
I'm not sure whether to toss a beanbag or...
And moving
We
on.
took the high road on that one, folks. You're welcome.
I stopped.
Talk about
So
some
classy.
movies.
Movies? Who watched Lars and the Real Girl?
I did.
I did
I
not.
liked
What is
it.
that even about?
It is about this dude, and he's like this social outcast because like his mom died in childbirth with him, and like giving birth to him, and so his dad like had a broken heart for the rest of his life and was a very distant man, and so you kind of start
This
to
is
figure.
comedy gold.
Yeah, no, you start to figure. Oh, it's weird. So you start to figure out he has all this social anxiety because he's never like his dad didn't do all the social things you're supposed to do with a baby, like hold it and touch it and love it. You know what I mean? Like so,
Oh, wow.
he has all these social anxieties and stuff. So he buys a doll, a sex doll, off the internet, but not to have sex with, but to like have a relationship with. And so his family has to go through like this delusion with him that this is his real girlfriend. And yeah, it gets
Those things aren't cheap either.
well, he didn't have a lot. He wasn't really spending a lot of money.
What's the price list saying now,
So-
Brian?
And
How do
really,
you know that?
he could just get a basketball. That was good enough for Tom Hanks, right? Wilson?
That was
Just
Yeah.
get a basketball.
Yeah. Actually, that works on The Last Man on Earth, that TV show. Anyone watching that?
That's right.
Yeah, he's just
That's
got
the
balls
best.
everywhere. I love that show.
Me too.
That's really good.
Yeah. Anyway, I like Lars and the Real Girl. So.
It was a good
sounds
movie.
good.
Then?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was I had a night to myself, and I watched that because it was like a movie I didn't think anyone would watch.
You know
with
what?
Me.
I'm all by myself. I'm gonna watch a guy have a relationship with a sex doll
It did not go as I planned. I will admit.
and this bottle of Shiraz.
But yeah, Ryan.
I watched a movie yesterday.
I got to stare at Ryan Gosling, so it was fine.
Oh, is he the guy in the movie?
Yeah, he's Lars.
He was the sex doll.
He's Lars. He's the sex doll.
Yeah, he's.
For Shannon, yeah. So,
Oh my.
Mer. I don't know why I made that noise. I watched a movie yesterday. I cannot name. I can't think of the. I'm not going to look it up. But the same director.
Good. That's
that
great
did,
for podcasting. Thank you.
Same.
The less information you can provide about what you're talking about, the better.
I think it was Stephen Chow, the same guy that directed Kung Fu Hustle. No one? Anyone?
Nope.
No one watched Kung Fu Hustle?
No.
Wow. Okay. It's Kung Fu Hustle was a really goofy, like modern kung fu movie. It was not what you would think when you go into a kung fu movie. It was very, very slapsticky and humorous, but it was all in Mandarin Chinese with subtitles. But I also watched his other big movie, which was called Journey to the West. Which the title is actually not
To the west,
his.
to the west. I'm sorry.
Again, damn. The title is actually from an old novel from like I want to say either Ming or Qing dynasty from China that has to do with, I think, for anyone who's played League of Legends, and maybe even Smite, you'll probably recognize some of the characters like Sun Wukong, the Monkey King. and a few others. I can't remember their names. The one was the pig character. But anyways, it's about this guy that is on a path to enlightenment. He's trying to become he is a Buddhist monk, but he's trying to become like this enlightened Buddhist monk. And like from what I looked up online, the original novel from like hundreds of years ago was about the journey of him and these three characters going west. Well, the movie was kind of like a lead up to that journey, and it's fucking bizarre. I'm just gonna say that it was the weirdest movie, but it was still like one of those like you couldn't stop watching it sort of things that made me want to find out more about like that whole the tall tales of China and stuff. So I started looking into it. Pretty wacky, interesting stuff. So,
What's it called again?
it's called Journey to the West.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Sing it,
And
sing
I guess
it.
there's been no, I'm not saying no.
To
Oh,
the
Brian.
west, to the west. Sorry.
Most people don't know this, but Brian's the president of the Beyonce fan club of Montreal.
Why of Montreal?
I don't know.
Why
It's Canadian.
Montreal?
Yeah, Toronto.
Because the Toronto chapter was already taken.
Yeah.
So I had to go to Montreal.
Do you know how Canada works?
The politics
Forming
in
a coup.
Toronto were too cutthroat.
Well, when it comes to Beyonce, yeah. But yeah, it's crazy movie. Check it out. Brian watched something that I have not seen yet, and it angers me that I haven't seen it yet. I need to just buy it and be done with it.
Yeah, Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah.
Every frame of that film is like a piece of art.
Yes.
And so I just got totally sucked in by everything. I just sat there just amazed that he could keep it up for so long.
And I think that out of all
Sorry,
the... Yeah,
I
that's
meant
hot. That's very
visual.
hot. But I think that was, to me, the Wes Anderson movie that perfectly kind of encapsulated or combined, like, humor, sadness, like everything in one movie.
Yeah. You're right. It had a lot more depth to it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it got really downer at certain points.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I love that movie.
Me too.
It is, what is it today? Today's the 20th of March, so how many days until the Motor City Comic Con? Too many.
Yeah, more than one is too many.
Yeah.
Yes.
We will be there May 16th. That's when we go.
So come see us at our panel.
Which we'll be
Yeah,
we'll be
at the Applebee's.
we'll be in stealth. We'll be in stealth mode at the Get Your Geek On radio show booth.
We're driving through with our lights off?
Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell Steve something
what
shiny
Batman did.
is over in the corner, and he'll run away, and then we'll just take the booth, right? Just move on.
Me, Steve, or
the other Steve, Michigan Steve. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Yes.
I mean, it'll work on
That
me
would-
too. We'll probably both
You'll probably go
scatter off.
running too. But anyway,
Oh, Steve, come on, Steve.
yeah, hotel room is booked, so yay.
Yeah. Should be a good time.
Our Comic-Con starts today.
Yeah?
Yep.
Montreal?
Yeah, exactly.
Montreal. God damn it.
It's the Beyonce Comic-Con, though.
Only Beyonce.
It's your
comics?
con.
Very small.
It's the Brian
con.
con.
And nobody's allowed to use the right side of the stadium. You gotta.
No, it's
stay on
always
the
to the left.
Exactly.
Jesus.
It's just a bunch of
Excuse me,
people
sir.
on
Which
one
way is the
side.
bathroom?
All the comics are in one box to the left.
Like, everything can't be to the left, sir.
Yes,
We
it
run out of
can.
room.
He's got like one of those tape lines down in the middle of the room.
And then some asshole turned around, and all of a sudden his left was on the other side, and it was chaos.
Fucked everything up. Probably Nicholas Brendan.
What?
The guy who played Xander from Buffy, he's been arrested at like 3
That's right.
Comic-Cons in the last couple of months.
Has he really?
Just drunk, yeah.
Why was he
Are
arrested?
you serious?
Yeah. He was at Motor City last year, but he behaved himself.
I
But yeah,
didn't
no.
see him.
There's been like 3 separate arrests where he's trashed his room and just been drinking and mixing medication or whatever. And kind of pulling the "Do you know who I am?" card, and no one
Oh.
does.
Great.
Oh, that's not nice.
Ooh.
I knew who you were 10 years ago.
More than that, yeah.
All right. before we go, let's have a little time for Star Wars.
Everything is Star Wars is a new segment I want to start adding to our show. Not that it's fine. We can totally cover like Star Wars, any news about the movies, books, comics, TV shows, anything. That's fine. But what I also want to cover is the weird stuff. Like this week, a catfish has been named for Greedo.
Oh, cool.
And I'm going to put the video up, which does our actual audio listeners no good. But this catfish does have blue eyes and the pulled...
Very round.
Yeah, and the pulled snout. And... Yeah, like, I don't know if they'll show the actual...
If only it was green.
Yeah, it's not green.
But what it does have going for it is that it goes up to all the other fish and shoots the fuck out of them.
It doesn't shoot. Yeah.
It tries, it misses.
It's a horrible shot.
Not a very
And it
good
always
shot.
attacks first.
Yeah.
No, actually, it doesn't attack first. Sorry, it gets attacked first.
How did he miss from that close?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of questions.
Do you guys think that was well received? That redo? Re-edit?
That one's kind of green.
No controversy.
Not as good as the Han stepping over Jabba's tail. So.
Yeah, that was really good.
Wow.
Jabba was kind of like, you stepping on me.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Actually, there was other...
a fat human man instead, this would have never happened.
Like George Lucas. Speaking of George Lucas, he was actually at Midtown Comics this week in New York. And he went in and bought the new Star Wars comics because Marvel now has the rights to...
Yeah, I heard those are good.
Yeah, so there's like a picture of him, and he had come in, and I guess no one sends George Lucas the comic books. He has to go and buy them himself. So.
Well, he's kind of, in a couple interviews he's done, he's made a point to say, like, no, I have no connection.
Wow.
I am not involved. I don't know what they're doing. They
Walks
kind
into the comic
of
book
threw
store,
my
sees
ideas out.
Sees the comic books there. Oh, this is interesting. What's this Star Wars thing all about?
He's got dementia or something.
Aww.
I'm glad they're doing a Princess Leia book too.
I hear it's really good. I actually kind of want to read it. I'm not a big comic person, but I might check that one out.
Damn it, you ruined the potential joke that I was going to have.
Uh-oh.
What?
Deliver it anyway, come on.
No, she was saying that she already said that she kind of wanted to read it. I was going to say, Shannon, you can read that one.
Oh, you dickbag.
It still worked.
Yeah, I guess so. It's a little harsher now, though, isn't it?
Now that you've had time to think about
now it's going to be a little hard to sleep at my house, isn't it? Go ahead. Go to sleep.
It's a hotel, isn't it?
Have a drink.
She's sitting there with a pillow. And a garrote wire. But I think that's it for the show tonight.
Go to after show.
So, thank you for tuning in to this week's Multiplaying podcast. And if you don't already know, we do have an after show that usually starts around 10, quarter after 10, whenever we stop finishing the podcast. But you can listen to us live, record the podcast, which is a lot more fun than actually.
I gotta get into my smoking jacket.
Live from Montreal.
I really want to show Shannon a map of Canada right now.
Show where the cornhole is.
There's Windsor, Montreal, and Canada. That's all I know.
Toronto.
The Windsor cornhole.
Toronto.
But that's it for the show, ladies and gentlemen. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night,
everybody. Good night, everybody.
Well, gentlemen, no point in hanging around this dump any longer. Wait! Where are you going? I was going to make espresso.
Show's over, folks.
You can't go. All the plants are going to die. Take off, eh?
Thanks for listening to Multiplaying, the companion podcast at multiplaying.net. Questions, comments, feedback, errors, etc. can be sent to multiplaying@gmail.com. We invite you to write a review on iTunes and visit our website at www.multiplaying.net.
We've made a lot of friends, shared a lot of laughs, often at the expense of others.
I think some people are going to be upset.
Let me just close this conversation by saying you are one unique individual.
Thank you and good night.
This podcast is part of the Game and Entertainment Network. Visit tgenetwork.net to find the latest episodes from all our shows.
Fucking one take Brian over here.
Unfortunately, that's my nickname in bed too. So.
Oh, another kid. Can't get anywhere near this penis without having kids.
Don't hang a coat near me.
You're one virile son of a bitch.